sounds from Europe, man, all that stuff, but somehow some of that fits into the blue thing, which seems to be my biggest home these days. Most of my, I don't know, it doesn't matter, man. I end up saying so many things that I think about and I say, well, I'm not sure that's the way that is, because it didn't get blue to the last third of it right there, right? This isn't blue. The only thing that's even Americanized about it is do do do. Here come the judge, all that, which that's an old rhythm from the 30s, right? Or 20s, or way back, ragtime really. Let's go to the turn of the century. But got certain harmonies, you know how it is, certain chord changes. Through conditioning, we hear it as that American blue thing. There's an intrinsic thing in them that makes them that. So if they're in that environment, if they're in this it's still kind of southern from the old cakewalk days, but it just doesn't have that blue thing. It's more sunshiny, you know, sunny music. It's definitely plantation music, but it's the white kind of thing without the blue. It's like there are haylofts all around instead of cotton or something. It's a different image, a different feeling. It's all great to me. I think your taste is really eclectic, to say the least, John, from our conversations. I don't remember a lot of what we've said to each other, but I have an image in my mind of you as a guy that just loves just about all music. So, you know, you were getting into the R&B thing at one point, one of our latter conversations. Stax Volt, all that stuff. Boy, is that fine things to listen to. They came out with that collection, you know, the Stax Volt singles. I bet you're up on that. And it doesn't have Red Beans and Rice, which is a real shame. I forgot what the other side of that is, but they must have put that on there because it says they've got all the singles. And I didn't see in the notes, somebody gave me it as a gift. What a gift. And I was looking for Red Beans and Rice. I think I must have told you about that if we talked Stax Volt, because that's just all-time Steve Cropper. And the band, man, funky, ahead of their time. A year before Hendrix sounds so different than the other bands of that time, and that cut in particular. Excuse me, late in the day my voice is a lot of telephone. Let's see if we can help this man with the bass line at all. I don't know what to talk about now, John. Let's take a tune like I Remember You. Let's take I'll play it and then we'll talk about it. Was that a poor choice? Darn it. Wow, man, Edge of Survival, that's what we should call that tune. Sometimes I say it's good for me to be to act, you know, say act sometimes, and the actor becomes the part. So I try to act confident and start songs that I'm friendly with, but that doesn't mean I can really play them. You heard me get stuck a couple of times, maybe more than a couple. But still, let's talk about the concepts of the bass, because maybe it'll pay off if we can analyze it a little bit. Main thing is, if we're doing it in G, it's got to get over to here for my ears. That root doesn't mean I have to play the root in the bass, but C sharp minor 7 is like the sharp 4 minor for my ears. I don't think of it as 2 of 3 too hard. It doesn't give me any benefit, so I just say sharp 4. I tried that way for a long time. It's too tough. So, ways to get there. Let's see. That's it. Inversion. Still G. E minor 7. D minor 9. C sharp minor 7. 11th. Extra inner voice if you want. That thing can happen. If it were a ballad, I might get that romantic note in there. A little poignancy. Doesn't hurt the human race, right? So, why is it E minor there? Well, that's easy stuff. It's visually right next to G, and it's its big minor friend. You know how that is. So, G and E minor. D minor, C sharp, minor, just F sharp 7, right? That would work. Those are all notes that would have had to lift off the chord for that one. This is, what is it? First time, I think, before I went like that, this time I went, let's look at what that's about. I hope this isn't boring you, man, because you might have gotten into all this stuff so heavy by now that this is baby stuff, but I'm just taking that chance, since I did promise you to do this for you. Since you did, you know, you're pretty good to me, sent me all that stuff, it's the least I can do, but again, I hope it's not going to just be boring. Could be. You never know. Major 7, then a major triad. The string set isn't important, it's just we're talking about which notes on the staff are we choosing. Then I think E minor 7 again, but now I got the 5th in the bass. E flat stuff turns into a dominant chord, flat 9. 5th in the bass still. D minor 7 coming up. 5th in the bass. Flat 5. Don't like that sound right there, but I want to keep the line moving. It's so pretty, I don't even want to let go of the chord. If I were playing as a ballad, I'd just let that baby shimmer for a second, but sometimes I'm in the mood for that, boy, if you're going that Rachmaninoff stuff, you know? Tchaikovsky, them guys, those fellows. G11, G7 flat 9, first inversion, C add 9, maybe C major 7/6, like that chord, C major 9, C6 9, that's one way. The other way is to go G11, G7, C, LLJS Bach, you know? It's fun. Those linear chords, boy. whether they're traditional like this, or whether they're that, you know, just lines, right, John? Just hang a bass note, put some notes on the board. You never know what's going to happen if you haven't done them before. It's a wild one. Easy to score certain scenes if you ever get into that. I don't think I could score movies very well at all, because I try to imagine what to do in certain scenes, but the scenes where you just need tension, like those chords. The process I'm using right now, and this is how I found a lot of the stuff, you know, where one idea suggests another. I wonder if you've used that too. You start out on one project. We'll get back to Victor Schertzlinger? That's not very nice of me not to know his name. It's something like that, the man that wrote I Remember You. But no matter what I've done in my life, when I start on one project, something else will invariably suggest itself, and suddenly I take a little shortcut, or not shortcut, tangent, side road, and suddenly I'm out there on some other idea. Boy, am I hearing a line now? I hope I can find it. I know what the melody is. I want to get the right chord. Probably trying to be patient, wait for me to come back to the song. Now you see why I don't get as much done as I want, John. It's just something reminds you something, and that reminds you something else. And bam-o, you're out there practicing something 3 steps removed. There's a lot to say for that. It's just it's fraught with peril as well. So what can we do? Sometimes I just say you can't do it to myself. You must stay on something. But boy, is that hard to do when you teach for a living, because you're just horny to play. You know, you sit down, you touch guitar. It's like, let's play this thing. Let's do anything. And so it's hard to say, okay, we're going to work on melodic minor fourths over a pedal and contrary motion in the inner voice. It's like, sure we are. For how long? 4 seconds, you know? Somebody's going to come out of the womb one day with the discipline and the love of music and the circumstance and the money and time. Boy, oh boy. If somebody has that discipline and really learns all the resources of the instrument. I say this to you too, John, man. If you teeter on the brink as I do of no discipline, and I don't know, man, I get to feel like you're a disciplined person, so maybe you'll be one of these guys that will have a larger palette if you can keep that going. Do those studies. I mean, people say, yeah, just play what you hear. That's a nice few words put together, but wow, man, it sure helps if you hear, because you got a huge palette, you know, just tonal resources personified. I'd love to have more. I just can't seem to stay away from the instant thrill of sitting and making a noise that I already know is going to do something, and still winging it, improvising, but at least it's not like an exercise where, like you say, like fourths or something. Let's work them out. I spent one night working them out a couple of months ago on one scale, and it's like, it's nice, but it needs so much else to move me at all. So far, that doesn't move me even an iota, right? It doesn't move you. I say right because that couldn't move you either. It might intrigue your intellect, but there's no emotion in there if I play it with feeling. The resources are too skimpy. It needs help, needs another voice, another something or other to make it come to life. So, yet it's a rudimentary step. You can't make it come to life if it's not living there in the first place, in your hands and your eyes and your brain and your ears, the whole shot. So that's the name of that tune. It's like those sounds I've practiced on. I'd find them and practically go into orgasm, and then I'd have to work on them. You know, you find something you just are stone crazy about, you just stop. You know, the world stops. You just go, whoa, wow, please, and you work on it. And that's not an exercise as such, and yet it is. But all those, I mean, again, I think you're the kind of person where if somebody said, here's 10 grand, you got a month, write down 1,000 exercises for a guitar player to practice that could possibly yield some value. You could do it and have a few days off to go to the beach. You might do it in the first day. Probably would. You could. Somebody could write it. I think I could do it, and you could do it. Maybe in a few days. 1,000 exercises of value, not just little, you know, like play the scale, but something more sophisticated. But gosh darn it, you sit down, you want to play, and so I'm trying to balance it. That's the name of the game. Today I forced myself to work up at 6 in the morning. This was about a day ago, and I'm saying, hey, work on something concrete and then try and use it. So then it's like, I don't want to spend another hour working out something that I can't use. You know, it's like, as soon as you start working on it, try to get a feel. Is there any potential to really love this a lot? If there isn't, that's my barometer these days. I'll say, well, I'm sure it could come to life, but probably in greater hands than mine. So I'm looking for something that gives me a zing right away, and then I'll try to multiply that. That's been one of the keys I've noticed. When I think of anything I've found, if I try to get new ideas, I'll say, okay, what do I love? Like last night I was working on 1 to flat 6 to 4. Boy, does that thing charge my batteries up, man. It's like, it can sound so many ways. But why don't we go back to I Remember You, and then if there's time left, we'll talk about all other stuff, because I've gone off on this tangent. So we got down to, oh yeah, see, now that sounds like that's not doing anything for me now. The way I operate is, if it's not happening, and I know I've got to stay in that key, then I'm pretty upset. I want to change keys on it right away. It doesn't sound right to my ear in this key now. Built funny, John. I didn't ask for it, or maybe I did out there in the ethers, but it seems it's a problem. It's a real problem, and I want to hear certain keys. So now I've got to try to get out of E flat. I'm just in an E flat frame of mind here for a second, so I got to get back to where I'm loving G. I do use tricks for this. What I'll do is I'll play with a minimum number of voices so that I'm hungry for anything. Make my ear just hungry for any harmony at all. So now I'm kind of fond of G again. It only took maybe a minute. It's the strangest thing. I've just got to, each moment, be in love with the key I'm in, or it's not worth it to me. I'd rather read a book or I'd rather do something besides music if I'm not in love with it. It's really strange that way for me, man. I just have to be thrilled by it, or I just don't want to do it. Really childish about it, I admit it. It's not even childlike a little bit. It's both. Childish, childlike, but also childish, I know. However, I don't want to change it because it forces me to find stuff I like. Now I'm really in love with D at this second because it's come to life, so now I've got to go back to G. I don't like the sound of just going right into G sometimes from D because it doesn't sound that different, so I'm going to try and use a buffer zone, something like the key of, what key usually makes me hungry for G? B can do it sometimes. And I can go from D to B and not be upset. I really dig B, actually. Love this key. See, I'd love to play the tune in this key now. Ooh, wow, man. It sounds so cool in this key now. Wow. Can I reach it? This key sounds marvelous. Good there. There we go. It's hard to play. That note is stoned crazy over there. Lenny, where are you? We need you. out of B and get into G is just get the diatonic thing going and then create the pedal tone thing. It's something I heard Max Steiner doing Gone with the Wind in the intro in Dixie. I think he went into what did he do? He went from G flat to D. Whoa, man. At the end of the whole opening credits, if you don't have that original soundtrack album, it sounds like it's coming out of a 1-inch speaker. It doesn't matter, though. The music is so great, John. You want to hear a cat that caught sunshine and put it in a bottle and then dripped it onto score paper, made it come to life. This cat could do it, boy. This cat could do it. You might know about that score already. It's great to hear it without the dialogue. You send away the Max Steiner Music Society and they can tell you that stuff. What a sound. Or that soundtrack album. You don't get the dialogue, that's right. Anyway, that's a nice thing. Now I'm in the mood for G. Just those two chords is enough to do it. 2-5 sometimes we'll do it if it's just especially great, the way it's voiced on guitar, it's a circumstance, you know, to get you in the new key. Sometimes it's real bland. You probably know that too. So that was our first bass, and then I think that's what I'll do is I'll go back and show you how I might be thinking of the bass line with just the melody. That's sweet. Hearing that change, the guy wrote the tune. What a great place for him to go right there. 3 of 4, like originally the 3 of home, you know, that sharp 4 is like the 2 of 3, so you're on C. A minor 7, 5 in the bass, G minor 9, F sharp minor 11. But I think there's one, it's the new one, which is key of 4, C. It's relative minor, down a whole step into the new 2 chord, which is the key of 6. I sometimes don't even bother thinking that. I just remember the intervals, just like go down a whole step, go down a half step. You know, it's A minor in any inversion, you know. So you don't have to say letter names either if you're not in the mood. You just a minimum of them. C, A minor, then down a whole step, down a half step, begins at 2-5. You hit the new 1, make that into a minor, begins at 2-5, you end in the key of 5, so you convert it to a dominant, or you do some hip passing, turn around chords, or approach chords to get you back to the home key. This is a complex structure, you know, compared to some, so I've tried to find tricks to make it easier instead of having my brain too cluttered with thoughts. Make it into minor. 3 minor 7 flat 5, 6 dominant. Any of those. Whatever you prefer. After 3, 6, 2. All that stuff, by the way, when you're going. I'm just trying to make the bottom line converse a little bit, so I still am thinking. Flat 7, 6, sharp 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, can't say it, switch string sets. You gotta switch strings now. So it's chromatic. 1, 4, any 4, major, dominant, funny dominant, Ray Charlesy dominant, minor, whatever you're hearing. As long as it's a 4 there, that, I mean, you don't even have to use these roots obviously, but that's the line I was hearing. I shouldn't say hearing, I'm hearing it, but that's because I've thought it through before. I know that line will work there. Hearing would maybe be try something like ascending scale, see if it works. It works. Not real crazy about it. Let's try skipping a scale degree. Let's see if something like that works. Works and get you where you're back home. The more I play, it seems like I go back to blues things in a lot of tunes, or that kind of sunshiny thing, you know. That makes it blue. If we didn't do that, let's see. Obviously I went back to some blue colors there at one point. Out in that blue zone. It's fun to improvise on the structure a little bit, huh? I'm definitely trying to do a little George Van Eps influence thing. Thank God for George. I'm really trying to hear that way a little bit. and I play it in that particular style of kind of a busy line. George isn't a busy player per se, but I hear kind of like a busy version of a George thing or something. But that is a lot of eighth notes, huh? Just damn a lot of eighth notes, but I'm trying to force myself to do a little of that, just to remember that it lives, it's available, and I like it so much. There were some years where I just forgot to do it. I just got into playing chords. You know, it's like, at some tempos like that with those staggered eighths, boop, ba, boop, ba, boo. I don't know if I always want to hear block chords, my goodness. Who needs it after a while? It's good at times, but it seems like texture to go. That's more fun to have those little stutters and some lines in there. Ideas. I get into little traps sometimes, John. I don't mind being honest with you about it, where I just only hear a few ideas over and over, no matter what chords are under. What a flaw, but I'm kind of stuck with it at times and try to break out of it as best I can. I'm sure hearing the same few little melodies tonight. Let's see if I can find something else. I'm going to try I Remember You with this two-part counterpoint for a while. I just thought I'd check and see how much tape we have. Two-part counterpoint, huh? A little of it. I know I'm going to go to three voices, maybe here. Let's try something. I'm not going to make any restrictions because, again, I just fail on formulas. I just got to play and see what happens. Sounds awful to me. Part of it's this key of G, but if I don't do well in the key of G, it just sounds so plain to go into C. Sorry for complaining, John. I'm not really upset with my life at all, or with the universe for giving me these particular quirks, because there's so many other nice things I've been allowed to experience. So, I am complaining, but in my heart of hearts, if somebody said, "Man, take it or leave it," I take it. I take it easily, clearly, and gratefully. But I can't say that I'm a saint, so I'm greedy, and I just want some other things to live here readily. there. I couldn't find the chord I wanted. That's terrible to hear that there. I didn't want to hear that there. It just, that's what came into the head there, but that's like such a... Oh well, it's not a bad line, it's just, I've played that before, too many times. Most of this other stuff I'm playing, I haven't played exactly this before, you know, I mean, things like it. And that's what I'm looking for, just for it to surprise my ears. I need a little surprise. It's like that, the first time I ever did that. That. It's like, wait a minute, stop, hold the presses. You know, I might have been going for this, and instead my fingers, I hit that and said, God, what's that minor chord? That doesn't sound right. But one day maybe, I don't know, that came in and somebody said, wait a second, that's the 4 chord. Know I'm saying wow as if I don't know I like it. I'm a committed hardcore fan of B. It sounds particularly nice tonight. If you're ever going to play, it's nice to play in this key, you know. It's like, where is the low D flat? Oh, we need this low note. Just don't have that note there. I'll just do harmonics or something. That's always nice hearing the A instead of the E minor. Natural 9? Maybe not. Nice and E. Sound, surf guitar. Oh, okay. What you doing now? Oh, yeah. Right hand note, 5th string. sweat glands work. Yes. Sorry for those pops and rattles.